Hello, I'm Floyd Fang with Redmaster Harrow. Today we're here with Krece Harris. He's here in Amarillo putting on a team roping clinic, and we thought we'd sit down and talk with him and just see what got him started and where he's at today. Krece, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Having a great time.
Just kind of tell us how you got started in rodeo.
Well, my mother was involved in rodeo, so since I was old enough to walk, I've been on a horse. As far as roping, that's something I always wanted to do, and go off to college and get your education paid for on a rodeo scholarship, and just stayed with it. So,
well, kind of just give us your resume a little bit. What you've done.
As far as rodeo goes, junior rodeo, high school rodeo, and then off to college. Went to school at Odessa. I went to school at Texas A&M. Went to school at Tarleton. So I have a long list of colleges that I went to and rodeoed for, but had always involved with a company that was involved in the Western industry, Equibrand, Classic Ropes, so on and so forth. Ran a company in Georgia for a sports marketing company out there, and they were involved in major universities, football, basketball, baseball, but we had a rodeo division, so I ran the rodeo division for them, and one thing led to the next, but roping and teaching has been my passion.
So what made you move from the competitive side to go to the teaching side?
A living. A living.
I understand.
Yeah, Dad always told me to get my education, get a real job, and I wasn't going to make it with a rope, and so I just had to figure out a different way to make it with a rope. And so, long story short, I started teaching, helping kids at home when I was a kid. You know, I think a lot of people can say that, but to be around a lot of great ropers in my past and listen and sit back and learn from them, and little by little put on clinics and do a lot of lessons. You learn more from your students than you really do from anybody else, and all of a sudden I'm going home and I'm studying videos of students and messages from students and what they understand and what they don't understand as far as the language that we use or the terminology that we use within the sport. And it became something that I wanted to be great at and grow our industry. I love the sport, so I want to see it flourish.
Well, I know I've been to several of your clinics, been down and just roped with you before, and I see the passion that you have for teaching. We really appreciate that. And it's nice to have clinicians that just don't come in and when it's over, you're gone, you never hear from them again. You're open. I know you constantly get phone calls, people calling, asking for help, sending you videos.
Yes,
and stuff like that. That's really helped in progressing the sport.
It has, and I enjoy that. Any customer that I have, I don't want to look at them as a customer. I want them to become a friend. And so my phone is open, my email is open, my door's open, and 9 times out of 10 I stay in touch with all of my students / friends. We communicate on a level to where if just because we were at a clinic, that doesn't mean that I'm done. Somebody can pick the phone up and call me or shoot me an email, a video, and I can break it down for them and help them out so they don't have to make a 600-mile trip to get touched back up, brushed up on. But I enjoy it. I mean, that's what I do at home, and day in and day out, and when I'm not there, I'm traveling doing it. So.
Well, and y'all have got some pretty exciting news. You're moving into a new location.
We are.
Tell us a little bit about that.
We just took over Salt Creek Arena, and going into Salt Creek Arena, we have 46, 47 stalls. We have 17, 18 turnouts that all have loafing sheds that we can accommodate customers' horses. It is a work in progress for us to get it fixed up like we want, but as far as the Team Roping University or True, that's the purpose behind it, is to have it to where it's a team roping resort for somebody to come in and become educated in the sport and understand how to do it and get a good foundation in place, but also enjoy their stay to where that they're enjoying where they're at.
Great. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's going to be a good thing for you. Now let's talk a little bit about Red Master Harrow.
Okay.
Do you remember the first time we ever talked about that?
I do. It was we got to carrying on about the Red Master Harrow, and one thing led to the next, and I didn't even know that it was you. So that's the great thing about about us becoming friends is it was about our friendship and learning about your product as much as you coming to my school, and I had told you that I had seen one and how great the ground was because I had been through just about every drag on the market and never could get my ground right.
You kind of had some special needs because of the way you teach your clinics,
Mm-hmm.
and some of those was the way that you packed the ground down during pulling the dummy.
Right.
So we did a few special things with our ripper and stuff that was just dedicated mainly to you, but talk a little bit about how you were able to prepare your ground quickly right after you got done pulling the dummy in the arena and packing it down. So
the biggest problem that I ran into at all my clinics was we would drag a sled, and every time we dragged the sled during those clinics, we'd pack the ground, and you were just so hard in some areas that the ground became so inconsistent. And our number one tool is our horse. So whenever that ground would get hard, all the drags that I had prior to never would rip that ground and get my base even again and still have a fluff on top to where those horses had that cushion, but yet when they stepped, they didn't roll an ankle, they didn't hang a toe, turning a steer, all the different ins and outs of really protecting the horses. So it was easy to be able to use the Red Master Harrow and jump on, and exactly where we'd packed the ground, we could rip it and have it right back to normal within 2 or 3 minutes.
well, kind of, what about the ease of use? Because I know you weren't getting on the tractor and working the ground. You had other things you had to attend to. So you had other people that could do it. Can you elaborate a little bit on how easy it is to use and the setup procedure on it?
The easiest thing about it is once we got it hooked up to the tractor and had it set to where we were level, it did the rest of the work. All we had to do is pull right through the ground. I did spend a lot of time with my guys working that ground, and I think they got nervous about me stepping out of my office to see how they were dragging the ground, but we got to the point to where they knew that as soon as they put it down, if they didn't just drag through it, then they had something set wrong, and so it told us that we were wrong, not the drag. So it was always a simple adjustment that we could make on the drag, put it back on the ground. Our ground stayed perfect. It's the only drag I've used for, oh goodness.
It's been a while now.
It's been a while, 7, 8 years.
I think so. 8, I think, actually. Sure is.
And that ground would pack as hard as concrete, and it's the only drag that I ever had that I could put on that ground and rip right through it the first time.
Well, thank you. What about the durability? Have you been happy with the way they last?
Without a doubt.
Well, you still have the same
I
drag.
still have the same drag.
That's right.
So 8 years now. 8 years, same drag. We replace, some of the ripper teeth on it because they're going to wear out. But as far as the durability of it, never had a problem with. Never had a problem with.
Well, good. Well, I think that'll wrap up what we got today. It's been a hot day. It's going to be hotter tomorrow.
I love it.
That's right.
We'll all be complaining about the cold come winter.
That's right. Well, thanks a lot for sitting down and talking with us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Floyd.